Hey everybody, and welcome back to Tenza Motorsports. This is not a car, and today we're not going to be doing any car modifications or anything like that. A bit of a house update, and then I want to do a channel update, some projects that we are going to be doing in here in the future, some stuff to look forward to. So let's get right into that. But before we do, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, like if you enjoy this type of content. It really helps me out, especially right now where I've been like super busy. We'll get into that in just a moment. Super busy with the house, and a lot of my content is either sporadic, kind of stuff like this. It really helps to have all of you watching and liking, commenting. Again, same thing like when we did the cabinet thing in the garage last time, just leave a comment. Looks good. You know, that helps out a ton. Also, we are doing a giveaway. We are giving away 2 E46 M3 steering wheels that I have gone through and cleaned up. If you're interested in being part of those giveaways, all you have to be doing is following us on Instagram, Tenza_Motorsports. So this right here is a cabinet out of my bathroom. The second bathroom. This isn't actually the master bathroom. And all this started with a $5 faucet. So where my wife and I just recently purchased a house and we're a bit razor thin, we've been going to bargain stores and things like that, and we found a new used faucet. I don't think it had ever actually been, in functional use. I think that somebody installed it into a house and it was either removed because the owners didn't like it, or was a prey to homes kind of show off house or something. And I think that they just pulled it back out of the house and then returned it. And so we ended up picking that up for $5. And, one thing leads to another, and here we are. So $5 faucet, went to go put it in the sink and realized that the sink actually has rust in it. And then the stopper for the bottom, so that you can plug the sink and fill it with water or whatever you need to do, that would not come off. I don't know what the heck they did to the sink, but while I was trying to get that off, the heated, I think they sweat on it's basically like a solder kind of, that popped off. So I was like, well, we'll need to take the sink out. And then while I was taking the sink out, when I pulled the countertop off, the countertop scraped the crap out of the walls because the walls are really tight where this sits. And then my wife then let me know, hey, I don't like the wall texture in here or the color. And so then I pulled this out, and then we started to do the walls, and then the trim in the house, which is kind of this. I mean, it wasn't in bad condition. This is actually some of the newer stuff in the house, but we want to make the whole house uniform. So we're just going to be doing like the rectangle, the single surface on the top. And we were like, well, we might as well pull that out. And so all of a sudden, I've got the bathroom torn apart. So just things that you learn, this kind of stuff will happen even when you're working with cars. You're like, well, while I'm in there, while I'm in here, okay, well, I've already dug this far, you might as well replace, that kind of stuff. And that's basically what ended up happening with the bathroom. Luckily enough though, because we're really good at budgeting and doing things ourselves, this whole entire project, a new sink, the faucet that I mentioned earlier, we're going to paint this white. We are going to be retexturing the walls, painting the walls a different color, and then retrimming. I think that's a little bit of caulk. We're going to have to buy a few tubes of caulk. I think we're going to be in the whole thing around $200, which is pretty awesome. Because in order to get somebody out here that knows what they're doing, they'd probably charge me $200 just to come over to the house and look at the bathroom and give me a quote. So yeah, that, like I said earlier, is one of the reasons why the content's been a little bit lame recently. And not only that, I live in an area where it snows like 6 months out of the year. So of course I pick a hobby where you can't drive the cars when they're cold, wet, snowy, anything like that. And so I've got the cars basically gridlocked. It is getting warmer, and there are projects coming up here real soon. So let's talk about that real quick, and then I'm gonna go show the bathroom and show some of the skills that I've learned. Certified YouTube mechanic, certified YouTube carpenter, certified YouTube remodeler, just whatever you want to put on that list. That's what I do. The black car that we just put ECS tuning suspension on, I just got done recording the video on tuning it. So we actually tuned the suspension, got my wife out here, she sat in it, and we set the suspension up. I know it's really not that much different, to have, okay, here's the car, and then, add 140 pounds and then, tune the car. That weight isn't really that big of a deal to a car that weighs, 2,800 pounds or so, but it is good to have the driver in there. So we actually tuned it for her to be in the car. And on that same note of ECS tuning, the suspension kits, we're actually going to be doing, as far as I know, because we haven't ordered it quite just yet, just been corresponding with them on which suspension we should be doing for the 986 Porsche Boxster. You've seen it on the channel a few times. That is going to be coming back now that it's starting to warm up, and we basically had it stored somewhere else. We are going to be working on that car again. That's going to be getting a catch can. It's going to be getting some exhaust work done to it. We're going to be putting the steering wheel. So the steering wheel that came out of this actually is going into that car. The old harnesses, I just had some cheap harnesses in this car. Those went over to the Porsche for right now. And then, yeah, so you're going to get to see a lot of that. This car right here, we did the max heating rods, the oil cooler. Talked about that, showed where I want to mount it. The company that was supposed to send me the cap, the oil cap that has the hookup so that you can actually, you know, run an oil cooler, that cap was on back order, and when I reached out to him just recently, it was supposed to have already been here, and when I reached out to him just recently, I haven't heard anything back. So I'm hoping that that's still something that we can work out. But yeah, so a lot of future videos coming up here real soon. And again, we'll be driving it. We'll get to actually take that car out and drive it and get to feel what that ECS tuning suspension feels like. A lot of people tell me that it's a little bit more of a daily driver kind of feel, which makes me a little bit upset because I was hoping to have it, you know, be a little bit more sporty. But I think cranking down the spring rate and, you know, where my wife is in terms of skill and stuff like that, I'm thinking that the suspension should hold us over for a while. And then when she starts to surpass what the suspension can handle and that's actually starting to hold her back, then we'll go from there. But for right now, I think with being able to adjust the spring rate and the dampening and all that stuff, I think we're in pretty good hands. All right, so let's go take a look at the bathroom. I'll show you the wall texture that I've been doing. I'm about halfway through working on the walls. And then once the walls are done being textured, we're gonna paint, slap on some trim. This will be painted white and put it all back together. So yeah, let's go look and see what I've been up to last couple weeks until midnight, and then up early for work. All right, so this is the bathroom. And when you first walk in, you would have the sink cabinet, and then you would have the medicine cabinet that's in there with a built-in mirror. You got a stand-up shower tub mixture, and then you have the toilet, and then there's a cabinet just above the toilet. Again, it all started with a $5 faucet, and now look at where we are. But I've been very happy. I've been learning. So over here shows you kind of, let me see if I've got a spot that hasn't been done. I think it's all been done at least once. So I took this guy right here, which is a fantastic sander. It's a sander vacuum thing, and when you run it, it automatically turns on the vacuum, which is super cool. So it sucks up loads of dust. This area would be absolutely filthy if I didn't have that. If you look right here, this texture was basically, they had mud and they put it on a roller and then they ran the walls. And that's all it was. You can just kind of see the old texture there. So we sanded it down probably about, you know, about half of the height that it was. So now you're only looking at the valleys. I just ran mud over top of it, smoothed it all off, and that just kind of like give me a blank slate, so it ends up being smooth. Then what I did was I did some skip trowel texture, some of it here, and I think it turned out really good for being my first time. This is towards the end, because I started over here and then did this wall, that wall, came over this way above the shower, and now that we're over here, I was basically done for the night. And so, you know, obviously this looks a little bit better than when I first started, but yeah, so I'm learning how to do wall texture. So yeah, I'll make sure to show the bathroom when it's all done. Like I said, I'm pretty happy with everything that's going on so far, and the beginner skill level stuff. But yeah, so thanks everybody so much for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. It's been pretty rough to have to create YouTube, work a full-time job, and have a new house. And new, you know, it'd be different if we had purchased a new house and there wasn't anything like this, but new to us, an older house. We got some things we got to fix. So I really appreciate all the support, everybody, for watching. Any comments or questions down in the comment section below, and we will see you in the next video.
Bam!